We should be live now. Welcome all to the Extraordinary Strategy and Planning Committee for the 27th of July 2022. This is a meeting that we've called because we lay some matters on the table from the last meeting so that we could get some further thoughts on it. The apologies today are Brian Scott and I think Michael Laws. Anyone move? Thank you. Move Andrew Noon, Councillor Andrew Noon, and Gary Kelleher. Any other apologies? All in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. Confirmation of the agenda. There are two items on the agenda. One is the Land and Water Regional Plan Governance Group report update, and the other matter is the overview and approach and timing for the future. Are there any other matters that anyone wishes to add or consider? There is no extraordinary business. No, good. Conflict of interest. Members are reminded of their need to stand aside from decision making when a conflict arises between their role as an elected representative and any private or other external interests they may have. I presume that doesn't apply today, but let me know if it does or when the item comes up. Okay, so the matter for consideration, as I said earlier, at the Strategy and Planning Committee meeting held on the 13th of July, the committee resolved to lay papers 7.8 and 7.9 on the table to allow the Land and Water Governance Group to feed into it, and then meet late July 2022 for a workshop. Then Strategy and Planning meet to confirm a way forward. So that workshop was being held this afternoon. So that's why we're here. The item 4.1, which was 7.8, is the Land and Water Regional Plan Governance Group report update. Do you want to speak to that, Anita?
I can do. So this is the report format that the governance group agreed would be a useful report to come to S&P as relevant after each meeting, and this is replacing and in place of the verbal update that you used to get from Councillor Noon and Councillor Robertson. So just provides a bit more transparency and visibility. So this reflects the latest update as of 2 weeks ago.
So the important thing, but the difference here is that the report was subsequent to the Land and Water Regional Plan Governance Group and is updated from the one that was in the paper. It's set at item 7.8.
It's the next month's paper.
It's the next month's paper, and it highlights that there is some peri-Phyton issues that weren't on the previous one.
That's right. Yep. The MFE guidance for peri-Phyton has created some challenges for us.
So actually, I've just talked about this. The recommendation, should we be also noting the other one?
It's not attached, unfortunately. It's not attached.
No, but the other one, so the other one, which was the previous update for June, also needs to be noted because it hasn't been noted because we lay it on the table. Yeah. Okay.
My only comment, Madam Chair, is probably just reinforcing or noting that the pressure on the timeline of notification of the Land and Water Plan by the end of 2023 is just an additional the peri-Phyton as Anita's alluded to. But looking at the dashboard, it's certainly the pressure's building. We know that staff are working at pace, but run to the pump.
Thank you, Councillor.
Was the other resolutions floating around somewhere?
Well, I think the question is, do you want to give us, should we table, or do you want to give a verbal update on other matters that may have an impact on the Land and Water Governance Group as in the decision? Because what we should be doing is ensuring that we're letting the community know what's happening going forward as well.
So happy to do that. So obviously the High Court declaration in relation to the proposed RPS as a freshwater instrument landed on Friday. The RPS team are working through the implications of that, and there will be a series of steps and briefings and papers and pathways that will come back to you, and I can't tell you exactly when at this point because we're still working through them. We think we may bring you something to the August council meeting potentially. Yeah, so the reality is we're not 100% clear on what the implications or the timing is, but we're working through that and we'll bring that to you as soon as we're able to.
Thank you. Okay, so we don't know when it may. Oh, sorry. Question. No, that's me
Waving at yourself.
Any other questions? No.
I'm happy to move the report, Madam Chair.
So there's two recommendations. One is from the previous, sorry, it's paper 7.9 for the other one, apologies. That notes this report and the current tracking of the Land and Water Regional Plan project as of the 31st of May 2022, and the other report being the 11th of July 2022.
Happy to move both.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Has it been moved as one motion?
Yeah, they're both reports. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, just in one line. Is that all right?
Yeah. Thank you. Any questions or discussion? Or do you want to talk to? Sorry, I should have asked you. Lynn? No volume, sorry. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. That motion's been put. There is no speakers for it, no right of reply. Therefore, I'll put the motion. All in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. It's great to have the absolutely updated. We must remember to get those meetings in the.
That was really, sorry, I should have said I wanted to say something, which was just how much I appreciate this report coming to us, because I was getting a bit confused about sort of verbal reports coming and going and things, and I really appreciate the staff and the group getting this together and giving it to us. So thank you.
Thank you. We should note that the staff are working jolly hard, and it's really hard when things are changing on them. So really appreciating if you pass it on to Anita. Thank you. And Tom, since you're here. The next paper is 4.2, overview of approach and timing for future consultation stages for the development of the Land and Water Regional Plan. Do you want to speak to that, Anita?
I'm happy to take it as read, I think. Might be more straightforward.
Okay, so we've done a workshop on this and no comments on that. Okay, Hilary.
I'd like to move number one.
Just number one.
Just number one.
Second, Madam Chair.
Okay, we've got a mover just to do that. The Strategy and Planning Committee notes this report. Any questions, or do you want any questions of Anita or him or anyone first before I ask Andrew to talk to that? Sorry, Hilary to talk to that motion. No questions? Okay, Hilary, would you like to talk to your motion?
I have some sympathy for some of the balance of the items that I'm not putting a resolution up for, but at the moment, when we've just had a workshop and there's been a variety of thoughts presented to staff by councillors, it seems to me appropriate that is those are all collated and thought about and things, and I'll come back to us at the next meeting. I'm particularly mindful of one of the things on our risk register, which has a red colour on it, which I'm hoping that'll come down to a beautiful green sooner or later, is that governors aren't making decisions not based on poor advice, but aren't making good decisions, and good decisions require more information and having a workshop and trying to lend your mind to what is going on immediately. So that would not be a proper good decision, and it would not help our risk register to move us from red down to green.
And so says the Chair of the Audit and Risk. Are there any other views on that? Thank you, Councillor Robertson.
Yeah, sorry, just checking my sound. Yeah, I feel that we have just had a workshop today from Land and Water Governance Group, and it would be appropriate for that to be fed back through this committee. The reporting of that publicly in a timely manner is important in my mind, as is considering the consultation approach that we undoubtedly are in through our land and water planning process. An important part of that is the overarching regional policies that we need to develop in there. I feel that we made some good progress in our workshop, and we fed in some constituent needs for consultation. I felt that it would be appropriate that we do feed that back today and make some decisions. Thanks.
Okay, no other speakers? Sorry, I'm just checking.
Yeah.
There are no other speakers, so right of reply?
My right of reply is that there is a variety of things discussed this afternoon, and half of them which were done by the Zoom, our Zoomies, if that's a word, the rest of us have no idea about. So
yeah,
we do need to make a good decision by putting it into a process in the future where our staff can do a much better job than we would be able to do on the fly of collating that and making sense of our musings.
Thank you. I'll put that to the vote. All in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
It's thumbs up or
No.
Sorry, I haven't asked. Can I just have thumbs up asking for those? Michael D.
What are we voting on, please, Kate?
Sorry, apologies. It's that.
To know the report.
Yeah, we know the report, and that's all. Yeah.
And what are we doing with the other ones?
They're just sitting there, and they're going. I think, as Hillary indicated, they would come back as part of the report in August.
So by noting this report, and voting yes, I would be rejecting all the other things in it.
No, it's not rejecting it. It's
No, but I'm putting them off then, delaying them. We wouldn't be doing those things. We wouldn't be adopting those other things.
No, because we're not necessarily delaying them because they're not doing the timing yet anyway. The timing was coming later anyway. So we're not necessarily delaying anything. It's just that the whole thing will be considered in one, is how I took it. But
Sorry, I should have asked a question at that point, but I was still trying to get my head around it.
Sorry, I asked several times, does anyone have any questions?
You asked that. Yes, you did ask that. And I didn't understand that part of it. So I will just have to leave it and have to vote against the motion.
Well, look.
That's all right.
No.
My misunderstanding, I'm trying to go. So she's going, notes this report. What does that mean for the other bits? So anyway.
I'm happy to have that question answered. I mean, you haven't finished your right. Are you happy as a mover?
I'm happy for
I want us to do this as well as
Alexa
possible.
to exercise her democratic right to vote.
Okay.
Which is what I think we're in the middle of.
Okay, and look, I know that we're
Vision.
Okay, you will go to division. Thank you.
Right, so this is for noting the report.
Just noting the report. Sorry. And I apologise that people didn't hear me asking questions.
No, it wasn't that I didn't hear that, Kate. I want to be clear. I didn't understand what that noting this report dropped all those other things off. I thought we were probably taking them one by one, and I didn't realise that it meant something different until this moment. There we go. Just to clear that up.
Thank you, Diane.
Right. Councillor Calvert,
Aye.
Dr. Carter,
Aye.
Councillor Deaker,
Aye.
Mr. Ellison,
No.
Councillor Forbes,
Carl, no.
Councillor Hope,
Yes.
Councillor Callagher,
Yes.
Councillor Laws,
Aye.
Councillor Malcolm,
Yes.
Councillor Noon,
Aye.
Councillor Robertson,
No.
Councillor Wilson.
Aye.
Motion passes 9-3.
Motion's passed 9-3 on division. That, I think, ends the agenda for the day. Thank you very much for your attendance, and especially to those who extra work for you, Lynn and Edward. I really appreciate you having to do that today. Thank you very, very much. Stay safe, stay warm and stay dry. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.